पॉलिसी मैच्योर होने पर क्लेम्स की बरवक्त अदायगी बहुत आसान, इसीलिए इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ जुबली लाइफ से।
Thank you so much for joining us on Jubilee Life Insurance presents Game Day as we're building up to the big one. It's the massive one. India versus Pakistan in New York. The first time these two teams will lock horns in the US of A. And to talk about it, we're joined by former Pakistan player Urooj Mumtaz. Thank you so much for joining us, Urooj. Strange, right, that before a big game like this one, where generally the chatter is on selection, chatter is on combination, all the chatter is on the pitch and how that pitch will behave.
Well, I think just adds more spice to a very hot, spicy contest, right? I mean, Pakistan have had their fair share of troubles, obviously, starting on a poor step with the loss against the US. India's already played twice here, so they have tested how the surface behaves. It seems to have eased out a little bit, but I think the contest only gets spicier. And I know it isn't the ideal surface, and the whole cricketing world has made a comment on it, including the ICC, but it's what we have. And I think Pakistan and India will always have some entertainment, even if it's on a sort of a springy, demons full of pitch.
If you ask any batsman, Urooj, they'll say not Nassau County Cricket Stadium, they'll say no Nassau County Cricket Stadium. But what's the post-mortem been like after that USA game, Urooj, and what's the build-up been like towards this Indian game?
I think there's, if you talk from a fan point of view, the mood's obviously very somber with cricketing fans for Pakistan, and rightly so. I mean, Pakistan were very, very shabby, both with bad ball in the field. Cricketing smarts were all over the place, and it was literally a performance which was all over the place. And US deserved winners at the end of it. But you can't look into it too much because what went wrong is sort of fairly straightforward. Which Pakistan should be able to fix with the quality and the experience that they have in the camp. Gary Kirsten did obviously say that they've motivated the group enough. And Pakistan have this historic record of doing really well when they're down and out. They lost to Zimbabwe in that recent T20 World Cup and ended up playing the final. So Pakistan have had their fair share of troubles and they've seemed to bounce back really well. That is one quality they have. How they come together tomorrow in the match against India will be slightly concerning because the personnel in the team haven't been in the best form, and that is probably the bigger worry. We talk about a good bowling lineup that Pakistan do possess, who haven't really clicked as a bowling unit off late in quite a few games. I think without digging or reading too much into the loss against the US, which obviously Pakistan failed to pick up points, but India in a contest in its own brings out enough motivation and inspiration for Pakistan and vice versa, I'm sure. And it counts a long way. The performances against India will obviously go a long way. So I think that is enough motivation in its own right.
Gary Kirsten has said that Imad Wasim is fit, and if Imad Wasim is fit, he's walking into that 11. Urooj, who is he walking into that 11 for? 4 quicks, 3 quicks? Who goes out?
Well, if I'm Gary Kirsten, I'm putting Azam on the bench and I'm playing Imad. The 4 quicks stay where they are. I just feel Azam again has failed to translate performances that he walked into the team because of his spin hitting ability at the franchise level into international cricket, and I just feel he's had quite a few goals. Gloves were given to him and then taken off him, and I feel Rizwan behind the stumps is definitely a must. Be it a shorter version, he's definitely your go-to keeper because you can't have the behind the stumps position slightly dicey because you can't give away chances there. So I think Rizwan with the gloves, Azam sits out and Imad comes in. He's very good with the new ball. They might not use him in New York in their game against India because of the surface allowing the seamers to pick up wickets, but he's very effective with the bat in that lower middle order. And come a crunch game, because it's not going to be a very high total given obviously what we've seen of the surface, he might be key in that lower middle order to get Pakistan over the line with the bat.
Yeah, all the more makes sense, Urooj, that you've got a guy who's, of course, slam bang, like Azam Khan, works on one day, doesn't work on the other day. But given the pitch that you have on offer and what Imad Wasim can also do with the bat, he could very well turn out to be that insurance in the middle order.
100%. Also remember 45 wickets to the quicks on the surface. So you'd imagine India to go in with the 4 seamers. So that's your 16 overs of pace. Azam's hitting ability is against the spin. So it might not actually come to that, especially with a guy who's probably not with full of confidence. I think Imad gives him that insurance for sure. And he's a guy for pressure situations. He's done it in franchise cricket. And let's not forget, he's done it for Pakistan as well in the past.
When you talk about that matchup, Urooj, of course, you got Rohit Sharma, you got Virat Kohli opening the batting for India, and you got the 4 quicks for Pakistan. If you had to really pinpoint that one guy who could trouble Mr. Kohli, who sort of switches on whenever Pakistan comes calling, who could be that one pacer that could trouble Virat?
The quality that Shaheen and Amir bring with their swing and their left arm angle into the right hander. But I feel Naseem Shah, in my opinion, will probably be the key against Kohli because he hits that good length, just short of good length, just off stump and around the channel where he might nick off Kohli. So for me, if Naseem gets his length right, he might be the one to pick Kohli's wicket.
And how are you finding this Rohit Sharma that we've been seeing, especially since the 2023 50 over World Cup? You're seeing a kind of intent in his batting, aggressiveness, and now that Pant is coming in at number 3, you would expect that it would carry on, even if it's Pakistan.
Yeah, I love the transformation. It's what the modern day white ball format requires. And for a captain to not just say it, but he walks the walk as well. And so many times he's been asked, well, if this didn't go according to plan, would you change and go back? And he doesn't. And he continues and comes out even against that very tricky surface in the first game that India played in New York. Even after getting one hit on his shoulder, he still went for his shots. And I think that is what has empowered the rest of the batters. And you bring someone like Pant into 3 and then you've got Sky at 4. It's quite a phenomenal batting lineup. And I think with the depth that India have with the bat now, it also gives Rohit Sharma even more of a free run to play the way he wants to play. And the thing is that he's backing it up. He's not going back into the Rohit Sharma of the old. He sticks to what it is, and that's probably what brings him so much more success.
The Indian openers versus the Pakistan quicks, is that the defining matchup for you of this game?
Yeah, for sure. It'll have to be Pakistan's bowling that sets the game up. Pakistan's batting is probably weaker than their bowling. And if they can pick up quick wickets in the first 6 and even keep India scoring under in the first 10, that'll be the game for Pakistan if the seamers can pull up a show.
Urooj Mumtaz, thank you so much for joining us on the show. You were watching Jubilee Life Insurance presents Game Day.
पॉलिसी मैच्योर होने पर क्लेम्स की बर वक्त अदायगी बहुत आसान, इसीलिए इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ जुबली लाइफ से।